Yo, check it. All right, yo, fam, what is up? You are back. This is your weekly outlook and prediction for stocks and crypto, where we look at stocks on the micro and macro and give you an outlook and prediction for this week. This video is not financial advice, should not be taken as such, but let's not waste any more of your precious time. Hop in the charts, facts, data. Let's go.
All right, what is up? You are back. This is your weekly outlook and prediction. Let's go ahead and hop in the charts, facts, and data. This video is not financial advice. We're going to be giving you stock and crypto information on what we're looking at based off the chart. So let's hop right in, looking at GME stock. Right here you can see GME got some excitement over last week. We also have a falling wedge in play. There is a ton, and I mean a ton, of bullish things going on for GME and the meme stocks. Let's go ahead and dive in. Now, I talked about a lot of this here on the video on Friday, so I'm not going to be breaking down everything that I talked about on that video. If you want to check that out, you can, but we're going to be looking at what you could potentially see here on Monday. Now, you can see that we broke out of this falling wedge and we have this higher low setup. You can see that we have a higher low, higher low, higher low. You can see that we've also confirmed the 2332 level as support. That's a major level that I told you that we have to confirm before breaking to this overall range of 2542 to 2593. Now, if we can break above that overall $25 range, those two levels I just gave you there, we can start moving towards $30, and that's where things could get really, really interesting for GME stock. I've already showed you in the past videos, and you've seen here with history of price action, once GME gets above 30, using that level of support, you can see GME really likes to take off. So one, it's a major level of support and resistance. Once you use the support, you get a decent bounce to the upside. Also, shorts are heavily underwater at that point because they've been shorting all down at these low prices. So the stock really likes to run when it gets past that $30 point, and it looks like we're potentially going for a setup to retest $30. Again, you're seeing higher low after higher low after higher low. You have this falling wedge setup here, and we are quickly approaching that range because we couldn't get above that 2232 level. We came down, made that higher low, broke above it, and we now confirmed it as support, so we can now have that confirmation to move towards that $25 range, and I believe that's what GME is going to do here this week. Again, we have Roaring Kitty tweeting, and I already talked about it. I don't believe the tweet has anything to do with AMC or GME, and obviously he mostly posts about just GME. He's never really posted about AMC, but I really don't think it has anything to do with GameStop, in my personal opinion. I think it has to do with more him not dealing with Chewy stock anymore, and that's what I took away from the narrative of the post, in my personal opinion. But it still adds fuel to the fire to the meme stocks, because there's always gasoline on the meme stocks. You have to remember, these things could take off at any time, so when we get this type of excitement, that is bad news for the shorts. Now, you can also see we have some more bad news for the shorts, and I'll talk about it later in the SPY segment, but the market is pulling back, and that's why you want to check that video out if you haven't seen it, because I talk about all that and how that correlates with the meme stocks. But you can see that we also have more issues. 1.6 million short shares available to short for GME and 1 million short shares available to short for AMC. They are running very, very low on ammo. Now, based off the cost to borrow, it doesn't seem like liquidity is getting crazy locked up just yet, but it does seem like they are having troubles finding shares. And I did post a post earlier about AMC, how the float appears to be oversold. Like, they sold more shares that exist in the actual float, shares issued by AMC. So it could be getting to the point where that utilization is getting extremely locked up. Liquidity is getting dry in the background, but they don't really want that to see. And if we see things like cost to borrow start to explode, volume start to explode, these are signs that we can look for to say, hey, the meme stocks are about to make a move. So you can see that they are low on ammo right now. This could change as early as Monday morning, but right now they are low on ammo for both AMC and GME. Now, you can see GME's cost to borrow is pretty low, so it is very, very cheap to short these stocks. We want to see if those cost to borrow levels go up. That is one thing we can be looking for. Remember last time that we had that huge run up, we had these big spikes to cost to borrow. So we do want to see that cost to borrow go up, and again, they could get more shares for both AMC and GME, because AMC cost to borrow also too relatively low, not as low as GME, but it is still relatively low, sitting at 1.77%. GME cost to borrow is sitting at 0.32%. Now, there's also some other bullish things going on with GME as far as put to call ratio and how many calls there are, the amount of calls that there are for GME are the same that when it exploded to these crazy levels of that $64 top right there that we had, that local top right here, and then also when we blasted up to that $47, $50 range here. So we had a huge amount of call options stacked up. So somebody knew GME was going to run, and if we do start to push up, we are going to get a gamma ramp. So ladies and gentlemen, we are set up for a prime move for GME, and this could also help AMC get momentum, and I'll talk about AMC as well because AMC looks like it's setting up for something as well. And I've been talking about this on my videos that we could potentially see a pump for the meme stocks here in September. So this is videos not to get you hyped. This is literally what I'm looking at based off of my research. Now, what we could potentially see on Monday, since we've broken out of this fallen wedge and confirmed that 2232 level of support, and we have a bullish consolidation after moving to the upside. You can see that we moved to the upside and we're holding these key levels. What I'm expecting GME to do is probably see a little bit of excitement here in the morning, moving to the upside. They'll probably dump some short shares and will probably come down and confirm 23.50 as support. That's the level I want to see held for GME stock. If we can hold 23.50, that's going to give us more confirmation to give us confidence that we are moving towards that $25 range, and that's going to be our main goal for this week. If we do move to that $25 range, next on the cards is $30, and if we break $30, that's where things can really start to get interesting. And I do think there is a chance that we could potentially test $30 this week, but we want to take things one step at a time. So first things first, let's confirm 23.50. Let's see if we do that here on Monday, then move towards that range. And I already gave you guys the steps to what to look for GME stock. So I do think we're going to get a green week for GME as far as I am concerned. And this is what I'm looking at as far as Monday, what you could potentially see. I do live streams, so if you want to hit the like button and subscribe, you can check out the live streams and get predictions while you're at work or whatever the case may be. You can get those predictions live as they do unfold and get the technicals live as they do unfold. Now let's go ahead and move into AMC and show you what's going on for AMC stock. Again, check out my video on GME where I talk about the fractal and other things as well on why GME is very, very bullish and why AMC is very, very bullish. Now, AMC also looking very, very good. You can see that we have this massive falling wedge set up here on AMC. We broke out of that here after touching these buy orders, getting this liquidity here. You can see all these buy orders, that green block on your screen, came down and we grabbed all the liquidity. You can see even here on TradingView, we have a bigger falling wedge and we're breaking back above this overall sloping support and resistance that's been support this whole time as we make higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, doing what I think is consolidating and coiling up basically a long accumulation range. The same thing that we've seen before the big run up in 2021. So you can actually see that I have the fractal from the 2021 run up right here. And I believe that we're following that fractal, and that fractal is about to play out. And this falling wedge is going to be what's part of the key of that overall fractal playing out. I think once we get back above these overall levels, what we're doing now, once we start moving towards like 510, 550, you're going to see us come down, use this as support, and really push to the upside and start to form this overall bull flag type structure here that sees us break above $6. So the key for AMC stock is to break above $6. Once we break above 6, that's the same thing like GME for 30. That's where we're really going to start to make moves. Once we get towards 550, shorts start to get nervous. $6, if we can confirm that level of support, you're going to see big pushes to the upside. You can see how high we went last time. When we finally came below $6 and used it as resistance, we got a big move down. But you can see that we've been building a floor, a bullish base, which is what I talked about this whole time that we need to do so we can consolidate and move to the upside. And that's what we've been doing for the last 3 months. So I think AMC stock is setting up for a move in my personal opinion. I've talked about this numerous times on the channel as far as the macro is concerned, why I believe that. You have green monthly MACD, green weekly MACD. We're also getting rare signals like the weekly buy signal, something that we haven't had a few other times. You can see that it's occurring right now. It happened here once we had this big rally here, and then obviously happened when we had the giant rally in 2021. We have so many things lining up, and I've explained that in other videos, so you can check that all out there. So I'm not going to break all that down, but we have a ton of reasons to believe AMC AMC is going to be bullish. I think that the earnings is going to be doing very, very well. And I think we have catalysts coming up with earnings on GME and AMC. And remember, GME earnings is going to be on September 10th. So it's going to be absolutely insane this week. So September 10th and after hours, GME earnings, things are going to be kicking off. And I actually think GME is going to do well for earnings. A lot of people are scared, and I think we are going to see a continuation to the upside and a green week for GME. But I wanted you to be aware of GME earnings. So I'll throw that in here with AMC. But I believe that both of the companies are improving fundamentally. Now, as far as what you can see is for technicals, on AMC, you can see that AMC has broken above these key levels of 490. You can see that they tried to break us down here in after hours. We actually got shorted down. They jumped 100,000 short shares on AMC, but we got a recovery back above this 490 level. That's what I'm going to be looking for to be confirmed tomorrow for AMC. I want to see it confirmed 490. I think we're going to get some excitement in the morning like GME, start to pull back and then get a bounce around 485, 490, pushing to the upside. And then we have to go back to that level of 502. Once 502 is confirmed as support, you could really start to see AMC move to the upside. As far as the daily is concerned, you can see here on the daily, we do have the 200 moving average used as support, which gave us a big boost to the upside, as well as obviously the excitement from the Roaring Kitty tweet. We can also see that daily MACD is going green. If we do get that green daily MACD, that would be a great sign that AMC is finally about to break out of this overall consolidation range. Now we have the 50 moving average sitting at about 506. So again, that 502, 506 range, once we get above those key levels, that's where AMC could really start to see some momentum to the upside. Do be watching for volume. If volume starts to kick in, you know things are definitely popping off, especially since volume has been so low. So this is what I'm looking at for AMC, what I could be expecting on Monday. That's also what I'm looking at for GME. Remember, GME earnings is going to be on September 10th in after hours. And I think they might even have an announcement for us. They did talk about how they're going to be doing like a retro type store and going into the retro gaming space. So I think we might hear a little bit more about that, and I am excited about that for GME. I think overall AMC is going to be having a green week, in my personal opinion, and GME is going to be having a green week, and I think we are going to actually start to see some excitement after that long, boring consolidation phase. Again, GME has been in a relative consolidation phase, and AMC has been really flat. So I think we're going to be happy with what we could see this week, in my personal opinion. So let's go ahead and see how this goes. If we start getting above those key levels, you already know, watch out. Make sure you tune in for the live streams. Let's go ahead and move in for SPY, show you what's going on for SPY, and then move into Bitcoin and then wrap up this video. So SPY in the overall stock market, I think that we're going to see a continuation to the downside, but don't get caught shorting too fast, because right now RSI on the bigger time frames is starting to get to that oversold territory. I think we're going to see a bounce to the upside, but I think that this overall downtrend that we're in is very, very powerful. You can see that the alligator here, the bands are spread very far apart. That's telling us that there's a ton of momentum to the downside still. We're just losing key level after key level. You can see how we're breaking down each of those gold levels, or just breaking down, moving to the next one, moving to the next one. We have multiple gap fills to the downside for SPY as well. And that overall double top that we talked about, I said, hey, if this comes to fruition, it would be a crazy prediction, is coming to fruition. That overall top one, top two. We also have a very eerily set up to a huge complacency rally. So you can see how we had this huge euphoria blow off top. We come down, we crash, then you get a complacency rally, all the whales exit, and then you get a big dump to the downside. Look at what the market looks like right now. Both NASDAQ and SPY look very, very similar to that overall market cycle psychology, where you have that euphoria blow off top, then you get that complacency, which is the lower high, and then it leads to a big dump to the downside. We also have the double top that is starting to form, and then a possible head and shoulders that is starting to form as well. Now this is projecting out on SPY, but you're seeing that if that double top did play out, you could see something like this on SPY, where you get a head and shoulders, and it would lead to a big drop down for SPY, similar to what you see on that market cycle psychology chart. You would get that double top, the double top plays out, you get a little bit of recovery bounce, but then you get that shoulder, head shoulder structure, which leads to another move to the downside and a much bigger move to the downside. And unfortunately, I do think something like this is possible for SPY. I think NASDAQ has been leading this rally, and you already know, if you followed the channel for a long time, that I've been talking about a narrative that this is a bubble. It's been led by AI, and I believe that that bubble is starting to pop, and you're going to start to see NASDAQ, which has been leading the rally, really start to take a beating, and it's going to take the market with it. Stocks like Nvidia, Apple, these stocks are going to be pulling back. Nvidia has this overall double top structure here, multiple gap fills to the downside. You can see that RSI on the monthly time frame is extremely overbought. It's just now coming down to levels that are just now underbought. Anything over 70 is overbought. It's coming at 68 here on the monthly time frame. So you can see there's a ton of room to run on the downside. If you look at SPY, as far as the bigger time frames, you can see that we begin in this divergence on the weekly time frame, making lower high, lower high, lower high on RSI, but price keeps making higher high. You also have overall volume trending down. It's shown, all these things are saying that this is not sustainable. Also, the data we're starting to get, the fundamental data, is not looking good for the markets. You can see that the market absolutely dumped on Friday. Even though unemployment numbers came out decent, we still had a crazy bloody day on Friday. Imagine if unemployment numbers came out bad. And I do think the unemployment numbers are fake, in my personal opinion, but I'm not here to talk about that. The numbers are the numbers that we got, and that's what the market digested. Now, as far as what you could see as data drops for this week that is going to be important and absolutely huge is going to be inflation. As far as the consensus and forecast is concerned, it looks like inflation is going to be coming down. I really, really hope that inflation does not come out hot, and I don't think they would even let inflation come out hot. I know that sounds crazy, but I think they would do whatever they had to do to make sure it didn't, because even with good news, you're starting to see the market start to pull back, and I think that's going to be the case. I think we're going to get a lighter on inflation, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's all good. I think that the Fed is a little bit late to cutting rates, and we're actually going to go into a recession and or depression. I don't want to scare anyone. I don't want to say doom and gloom. This is just what I'm looking at on the macro. And again, that's projecting out, and you can make money off a recession and depression. You can make money off the market going down. SQQQs, things like that, that move inverse of the market, has been doing very, very well. Absolutely ripping to the upside the days that the market is bleeding. So there are ways, and there's more ways in this, to take advantage of the market going down, or either buying things for very, very cheap. So it's all about, how can I make money off of this information? It's not about this is doom and gloom. It's just what I'm looking at based off the macroeconomics and fundamental economics. So that's what I'm looking at as far as that is concerned. You really want to watch out for inflation on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, we have PPI. And then Friday, we have Michigan consumer sentiment. The biggest thing is obviously going to be inflation on Wednesday. I think overall what you're going to see for SPY is a little bit of recovery. And that's probably going to happen in the first half of the week. And then we'll probably even come up to maybe like 5 at 42.55, retest that. And if that is held as resistance, you're going to see a move down. I definitely think we're going to see a continuation to the downside, but I think we might see a little bit of a recovery bounce. As far as Monday is concerned, the levels you want to be looking at is 539.86. If we can break that to the upside, that would give us confirmation that we could move towards that 542.55. But if we lose 538.25, that would give you confirmation that we might be coming down to fill this gap. I think we might see a little bit of bullishness on Monday, maybe Tuesday, and then people are going to expect Wednesday, with inflation being good, everything to be fine. But I think we're going to see a continuation to the downside in the later half of the week. Bearishness probably Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So seeing a little bit of green the first half of the week, and then a continuation to the downside is what I expect, in my personal opinion. So that's what I'm looking at for SPY and the overall stock market. Let's go ahead and move into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and wrap up this video. So Bitcoin, I believe that they are trying to shake people out of Bitcoin. I'm very, very bullish on Bitcoin. Everybody knows that. Now I'm bullish, and I explained why I'm bullish. I think that we're in an overall accumulation range still. You can see that we had this big push to the upside. We haven't lost 50K, and if we don't lose 50K, I would say that we're probably going to just keep moving to the upside after we consolidate here in this overall bull flag. If we lost 50K, we're going to see a big move down. Make no doubt about that. But if we lost it, that would be a buying opportunity in my personal opinion. Now, we're in this overall bull flag structure. I believe that if we did see an overall depression or recession and rates got cut, I believe that Bitcoin would do very, very well in my personal opinion. I think that it's a safe haven asset. I think that people are starting to realize that. I think it's a maturing asset. And I think that people are starting to realize that the dollar is inflating. Bitcoin cannot be inflated. Some people don't trust it. But if you do, you do, and you know why. But it can't be inflated. It's decentralized. It's not controlled by any one government. It can't be printed to infinity. It literally is a surefire way to store value because it's proof of work, because it can't just be printed, because it has a fixed cap. So once you understand money and all of that stuff, which I'm not going to break down here, you can see why it is a digital way to literally store value. Now, I think we're in this overall accumulation range. As long as we stay in this bull flag, I'm thinking that we're going to consolidate and eventually push to the upside. But as long as the market remains moving to the downside, you're going to see some pressure on BTC. Now, I think there's going to be a time where Bitcoin eventually decouples from the market, and that could be coming up soon, especially if we do move into that recession, depressionary time, months down the road that we could potentially see here. So as far as Bitcoin is concerned, I'm looking for it to hold 50,000. That's where BlackRock and everyone started to get in. I don't think they would want it to move much lower than that. Obviously, anything can happen here in the market. But what I think this is still an overall accumulation range in these higher levels. Again, big move up. Then you have overall accumulation, and then you have another move to the upside. And that's what Bitcoin has been doing. Just using higher lows, using previous support, resistance as support, and making higher highs, and higher lows. Just overall uptrend through its whole life. So that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin in the overall cryptocurrency market. I don't think we'll have a crazy altcoin season until Bitcoin makes a big move to the upside. This is your weekly outlook and prediction. If you watch to the end of the video, I truly appreciate it. I know this was a longer video. And as always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.
Alright, y'all, that was the video. If you found it informative, go ahead and drop a like. Press subscribe for more content like this, and I appreciate it if you watch the end of this video to see this message. Go ahead and leave a comment down below, and as always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.